Something that came up during class when we were discussing standard American English that I had no idea had a name was African American Vernacular English. I just thought it was so cool and so interesting that this is something that I've heard growing up, but I never knew that it had been named and that it was so widely studied by linguists, which is awesome. But my dad, for the past 20 years, has worked in New York City as a bus driver. So when my siblings and I were younger, he would take us to work, which surprisingly we loved, no idea why. But something that I always noticed about my dad was that when he got to work, he spoke differently than he normally would. And not knowing the name for it, it was actually AAVE. And I remember getting so embarrassed because my dad is a very tall, German looking guy, so it's the last thing you would expect to come out of his mouth. But as soon as he got to work, his dialect, his grammar, his pronunciations would immediately change as soon as he came into contact with someone at work that spoke AAVE. Um, so now I realize that he was around people that spoke it so often in his everyday life that he actually was able to pick it up, learn to use it. And most of all, he's basically showing covert prestige because he's changing his aspects of language and dialect and his accent to fit in at work. Um, but yeah, as soon as I found this out, I just thought it was so interesting and cool because when we were younger, my stepmom and I would actually make fun of him and we'd be like, "Why would you change your language? Like, why do you do that?" And he had no explanation. He was just like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "I have no idea what you're saying." And now I'm not as embarrassed because I actually think it's really cool that he was able to do something like that. But I can't wait for the next time to point it out to him and actually explain to him the reason why he's doing it, and see his reaction to that because I think it's going to be hilarious.